Good. Wait. Do this. Let me fix this. Good evening, my friend. Welcome to. I need to do this. I have to get this closer. Welcome to WDW Radio Live from Disney Springs. Hopefully, the internet holds up, my mics hold up, and my batteries hold up. It's been that kind of day, but it just got better because you and I are spending it together. Thank you for joining me live. If you are watching on the replay, don't forget to join us here every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and turn on notifications because you never know when or from where I might go live next. Disney Destiny starting next week. I'm looking at you. I am boarding the Destiny on the 10th on Monday. I cannot wait to share that experience with you. Primarily, I'll be sharing on my Instagram. I'm at Lou Mangello on stories, photos, and videos. I might even go live on Instagram, just like to mix things up a little bit. So if we are not connected there, please make sure we are doing so. And if there's something that you want to see, let's make this a little brighter. If there's something you want to see or learn or know about the Destiny, now is the time, and now is the best time to let me know, or you can let me know next week because I'll probably forget between here and then. I am spinning a lot of plates and juggling a lot. Let me make sure everything else is good. Microphone's good. Sound is good. So far, it looks like we are good to go. If you can't hear me, let me know. If you can, let me know. Was it still under construction when I went to see it earlier? So when I went to Germany and I went to Amsterdam, she was very much under construction. I wasn't able to obviously share any photos from the ship, but she was very much a work in progress. When I saw her come into port at Port Canaveral on, what's today, Wednesday, on Monday, Sunday, Monday, I don't know. Whatever day that was, I've lost all complete concept of time. My understanding is that she is done. She is ready to go. She was actually ahead of schedule before she pulled in. So she has been ready to go. I am very, very, very excited to see, because from what I understand, there are a few surprises and things that we don't know that are going to be on there. And I think this is really going to be not just about the places and spaces, dare I even say the food, but it's really going to be about a story-driven experience. And I think that's going to come in the form of, yes, some of the places, like I think we're going to see more from things, not just in the Grand Hall, but in, for example, the Sanctum. And more importantly, I think we're going to see it from the character experiences too. They are not just going to be simple meet and greets and take a photo and get an autograph, but these characters are going to lead you throughout the ship on their own unique adventures. The one I'm really looking forward to seeing is going to be Loki. I have a feeling the God of Mischief is planning on causing some mischief. He, Cruella, and some of the other characters that maybe we don't even know have been announced yet. From what I understand too, somebody on the Disney team has been, without revealing anything specific, really has been saying that this person is very excited for the food and, more importantly, some of the beverages that are going to be offered on board, specifically at the Sanctum, even in some of the restaurants. So I'm ready to go. I am bringing nothing but stretchy pants, and I'm going to have at it. And I cannot wait to get a sneak peek this week. And then we go back on February 9th. If you want to join us, go to www.radio.com/Destiny26. We still, I believe, have room on board. There's always room for one more. We'll find a way to get you on. But doing it together as a group is always even more fun. Are there some filet sliders off camera there? So Kyle, you're going to be both proud and disappointed in me all at once. I had part of the reason why I'm here is one, I needed to clear my head and get out of the house. Two, I had a meeting earlier today. This person wanted to meet with over food. This person chose the Boathouse. I not so reluctantly agreed, but I ordered a salad. I ordered a wedge salad. I was tempted. I've been craving the sliders. I wanted the sliders. I wanted those caramelized onions. I wanted those French fries. Like I can still. And then I realized before I left the house that I have a mirror, and I looked into said mirror, and was both saddened and disappointed. So I had a salad. I didn't even do like the tuna appetizer. Like I was trying to be that good. So, but I'm going to blow it next week. I'm going to completely ruin it next week when I get on board the Destiny, because there's so much, and I have a lot to cover in a very, very, very short, relatively short period of time. We board on Monday, we get off on Thursday. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be going on to cover while I'm there. But I'm not going to lie that in addition to trying all the new things to be able to bring that back to you, there's a little part of Lou Mangello that is just looking forward to getting back to my room, probably late at night, possibly after visiting one of the said lounges, including but not limited to the Haunted Mansion Parlor. Look how happy I get. And just ordering my little chicken tenders. I know it's so stupid. I can get chicken tenders anywhere, but there is something about chicken tenders on board that ship. Oh no, Lewis, what did you just do? On board, hold on a second. Wait a second. I'm about to lose my little magnet. It's bad enough that last week at this time, when I was in Magic Kingdom, I'm going to hold on to this, and somebody was kind enough to bump me. I don't know if I said this. I don't know if I told you this last week. I was getting ready for the show, and I was getting my microphones and stuff ready, and this wonderfully kind person who clearly had a lot of spatial awareness plows into me as if she's Cam Scatteraboo trying to get through the defensive line. My phone almost goes flying out of my hands. My microphone connector goes out of my hands. It gets lost. It's rolling under the sea of scooters and strollers that are there. So I had to order a brand new one. So, but it's fine. It's fine because you want to know why? Because one, you're here. Two, it's a beautiful night outside. Three, it is a full moon, so the freaks must be out tonight, myself included. But I'm going to be sharing at this time next week. We will be having chicken tenders together. So I am very, very, very much looking forward to it. Are you booked? Is anybody watching live? Are you booked on the Destiny, whether it's with us or on your own? And if so, what about this ship? Whether you're booked on or not, what about this ship are you looking forward to seeing most? I have a challenge because there's a lot to cover in a short period of time, but fortunately some of the spaces are mirrors to a certain degree. From what I understand, there's a couple of tweaks to the Haunted, like things like the Haunted Mansion Parlor are the similar, but there's a lot of new stuff to cover as well. So there's a lot to cover in a very, very, very short period of time, and you can only eat. I can only eat at one restaurant per night, which I think is patently unfair for a variety of reasons. But I am going to make sure I'm definitely going to be eating at the Lion King restaurant, which I've seen the space under construction. I want to see, obviously, the finished space. I'm very curious to see the menu, and more importantly, what the entertainment is like. And from what I understand, I was blown away by the Moana show on the Treasure. So much so. How much so? I left Castaway Cay earlier to go see a matinee so I could see it twice in one day. My understanding is that the Hercules show might be even bigger and better. Like jaw-droppingly good, incredible music. Obviously, they always have the best of the best talent. So I'm very, very, and I love that movie. I've always loved it. My kids have loved it. So very looking forward. So Kyle says, if my first Disney cruise, what ship do we go on? Kyle, I hate to give you the lawyer answer, but it really does depend. I think, and you can all answer this question, my first instinct says to go on the dream or the fantasy. And I'll talk it out loud, and maybe I'll change my mind as I articulate it. because it sits in the middle, right? It is one of the newer ships, but it sits in between the classic ships, the Magic and the Wonder, and the Wish class of ships, the Wish, Treasure, and now the Destiny. I think it's a nice balance of all of the three. I think that'll afford you the opportunity, and I understand what I mean by this, to go up and go down, right? When I say go down, I mean in size. You go to one of the Magic and the Wonder are my favorite ships. They're smaller, they're more quaint. There's a lot of things about those ships that I like even more so than the Dream class and the Wish class. But then you also sort of go up to the latest and greatest, which right now for me, the Treasure may be the overall best of the best. I think the Destiny, based on just what we're starting to hear about the theme of heroes and villains, the way they've sort of plussed up some of the already plussed up experiences from the Treasure. So I would say Dreamer Fantasy. I'm curious to hear what other people say as well. Gary would say skip Marvel and get a burger, a cask, and cannon. Obviously, I'm going to do that. I mean, I need to do that too. Do you know that I have not eaten at Periscope Pub? I have not eaten at whatever it was called. And every time I do it, I'm like, I need to go and try the menu there. I really hope I get an opportunity to do it on this ship. My husband and I, Miss Liz says, my husband and I finally doing a Lou and Becky cruise book through Grace on the Destiny. I can't wait to see you. Ray says fantasy first. Let me see. My first instinct is the same as Lou, the Dreamer Fantasy. Says Sue Passauer, who, by the way, is one of the exceptionally gifted travel advisors over. I have to get it right. Travel advisors over at Mousefan Travel. Token Fanboy says, let your destination be your guide. Me, I've always said I'd like to do the Alaska cruise. So I agree, Token Fanboy. I think Alaska is the overall best itinerary / ship, period. But I think first starting out, I would not sort of set the bar there. I would do the quote-unquote typical Caribbean cruise. I would go to Castaway Cay and or Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. And then you sort of go from there to some of the other destination-based decisions that will sort of guide where you want to go. Amy says, if I go, my first Disney cruise ship will be the first ship, the original. Again, I can make that argument as well. So Kyle says, it's funny to see the balloon go up and down. So I've been working from this spot since like 2 o'clock today. I've just sort of made camp here. I kid you not. An older gentleman, seemed not to be drunk, have all of his faculties with him, just based on sort of overhearing their relatively loud conversation. He's watching a balloon goes up, and he goes, how do they do that? How do they get the balloon to go up and down? And his wife was like, what did you say? He's like, yeah, how do they get the balloon to go up? I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that and let you sort of whatever from there. So, yeah. I'm trying to go back and catch up on how the magnets work. Gary Witt says, just dropped the Wish on Sunday. Love the ship and missed the storytellers from the fantasy. Gary, from what I understand, so on the Treasure, we had Coriander and Sage, which were really one of my favorite parts and enhancements of the Treasure over the Wish. There are similar storytellers on this ship, and from what I understand, they're integrated more into the storytelling that happens. So I'm looking forward to see who they are, how they tie into the hero and villains theme. So I dig it. And Kyle says the Haunted Mansion Parlor draws my attention the most. I'm with you. I've said it before. I'll say it a million more times. The Haunted Mansion Parlor is Beacon Barrel. You might be coming close second. Is the best placemaking I think Disney's ever done. Shore side, ship side, whatever it might be. Is there anything to prepare for the Magic ship or cruising in particular? Sheldon, my only advice to you is bring stretchy pants, because there's amazing food and there's lots of it. The beautiful thing about cruising is you don't need to prepare a lot. We've done shows before, sort of like preparing for your cruise, first cruise. And there's a lot of little tips that I could give you, like make sure you pack a day bag so you have like stuff that you need when you get on board. But uh, I think make sure you afford yourself the opportunity, especially on Disney, to explore and enjoy all the ship has to offer. Like if you've never been to, if you're, for example, if your cruise goes to Nassau and you want to get off and see it once, do it. But it's also a great opportunity just to really sort of have the ship for yourself. I no longer get off in Nassau for a variety of reasons, but those are some of my favorite days because it's almost like a sea day, but there's nobody on board. Do I think Disney's going to start river cruises? Amy, it's interesting that you asked that question. This is a conversation that I had with someone, uh, shall remain nameless, uh, not too long ago. And I will only say this. It would not surprise me, based on Disney's history, that they do not launch a river cruise line at some point in the future. Think back to Disney Cruise Line. What did they do first? The big red boat. They partnered with another company, saw the process, learned what worked, what didn't work, what they could improve upon. After that contract was over, they launched their own cruise line. They've done it with retail. They've done it with hospitality. It would not surprise me for them to get into this business so they have full control over the experience. Right now, they partner with Alma Waterways through Adventures by Disney and Nat Geo. It is an incredible experience. I absolutely love it. I am addicted to it, married to it. We are going to do another Christmas market river cruise, possibly in 2027. Becky's not here. I can say whatever I want. But I wouldn't be surprised if, not tomorrow, not next year, but in the next few years, Disney does not do it. So Thomas Swan, I just saw your comment come in. I wish I could justify the cost compared to my Royal Caribbean cruises, which are longer. This is another conversation for another day, and I'm sure one that Becky will get. I will agree with you that years ago, you could sort of, if you were sort of just putting them side by side, and still to this day, the cost to walk on board a Royal Caribbean ship is less. However, one, I think the experience is vastly different. Not better or worse, it's vastly different. And if you want to sort of work your way up to having to be able to compare apples to apples in terms of food, entertainment, experiences, beverages, and I've done the math and I've worked with it, they are very, very, very close. So I think that gap, for a number of reasons, has been lessened. And I also think sometimes, and this is again, they're just different. I've done Royal a couple times. It's fine. It's wonderful. There's great things about that cruise line that they have to offer. Coco Key, they call it Coco Cay. It's not how it's pronounced, but it's fine. Coco Key, is a great thing. You're going to pay for it, right? You're going to pay for certain experiences when you go on board. So just go with that understanding. And I think this is what happens a lot of times too. You see that initial price point and you're like, well, look at how much different it is. But then once you get on board and once you see like there's an add-on charge for 1, 2, 3, 4, it starts to get much closer. And again, the Disney Cruise Line experience, take this however you want it, is different than what you will find on any other cruise line. It just is what it is. You can insert Celebrity, Royal, MSC, Carnival, Margaritaville, whatever you might. From a service perspective, from a customer experience perspective, I just think it's different. Having cruised both, I prefer Disney experience for a variety of reasons. That's just me. That being said, we have talked about doing a non-Disney WDW Radio group cruise because there's a number of different factors that come into play, whether it is where they go, the availability for group space. There's a lot of factors that play into it. So we might have to at some point do that because it's getting more difficult for a number of reasons to do, especially when we have large groups. the kind of things that I want to do and the kind of experience that I want to give you on these ships. So it's a conversation for. Somebody said it looked like a spaceship behind me. Let me move this so it's clearer. It's not a halo. It's a giant. It's no moon. It's a space station. It's a giant balloon, which now looks like it's coming out of my head. So, and yes, it's the chicken tenders. So, Brett says I thought it was a spaceship. Kira says, I think it's important to know Disney includes so much that other cruises don't. They also have some of the biggest staterooms. I love Royal, but Disney's service, cleanliness, and food are above the rest. I agree with you. I agree. When I went on the Royal ship, and I am not a food snob. Like, I am somebody who loves his chicken tenders, admittedly. I think the dining options, especially for dinner, that are included with Royal are not great. Years ago, I'll give you only this quick story. Years ago, I did a group. I was invited on to speak to a group on there. The first night we all went to the main dining restaurant. After that first night, not a single person went back to the restaurant, and we all paid the upcharges to go and eat at the other places. It's fine, but that's where you start to inch up again. And there are people who love and swear by Royal, and that's awesome. Like, there is something, and there's a cruise line, there's a theme park, whatever, for everybody. There's no right, wrong, bad, or good. I like Royal. I will cruise Royal again. I'm gonna do another, for me, test cruise in January to see one of the other newer ships, because I want to make sure that when I answer these questions, I am well versed in the different types of experiences Royal has to offer. Kyle, are room service chicken tenders included? They're absolutely included. Thank God they are, because I would bankrupt myself with the amount of chicken tenders that I eat. So, Lorraine says, I love Disney cruises. The value is definitely there. Jackie says, I miss the tenders, churro, Mickey waffles on the Fantasy. That's what I'm looking forward to. It's funny that we all have these things that we love and gravitate to. They are our comfort foods, literally and figuratively, that we go back to. It's part of the reasons why I think we go back. When I say comfort food, I mean it's sometimes the things that we eat and just sometimes the things that we get to do. There is no charge for room service. There are some things that, if you order alcohol, obviously it is an upcharge. And then you're welcome, because it's the right thing to do. You can tip the crew member who brings it to your room. So, yeah, but my usually for me, it's like chicken tendies. I have a routine. I'll share this along there. Not that anybody cares about what my room service order is, but I get very excited. I put my little Disney movie on, and I have my little So it's one of the things I'm looking forward to most. Mike Welk, looking forward to seeing you in December. I hope anybody coming to the Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic next Friday, I'll be there. If you're going to be there, let me know. I hear the only place you can get churro Mickey waffles is Crystal Palace for the breakfast character dining, I believe, right? Because churro Mickey waffles are on the last day of your cruise, and you might be right in World anyway. Lorraine says, I was on NCL, and yes, the upcharges add up for the restaurants. I prefer Disney, but my husband always wants to try others. And Lorraine, I'm with you. I've done Princess, and there was a couple of things I was very impressed with on Princess that I think that they do very well. I've done Royal. I mean, I did Carnival like 40 years ago, so it doesn't count. But I'd be curious to see what a celebrity cruise is like, because I want to be able to have an understanding of what people are talking about when they talk about the different cruise lines. And look, I think Virgin Voyages, again, I understand that it is a very adult cruise, but I also understand that the services, the amenities, and the food are outstanding. And that's part of the reason why I want to see it. So, Viewer Mike says prices won't come down due to expansion. The value of Disney and what it includes is not that much compared to other experiences such as sporting events, concerts. Yeah, listen, I know what I paid to go to the Giant game with my son up in the Meadowlands a few weeks ago. Disney looks like a bargain, a bargain compared to that. And I think for the amount, your time value of money, and it's going back to sort of what we did when we were talking about things like the Star Cruiser, the time value of that money is what something is quote unquote worth it if it's worth it for you. And that is the very, very, very subjective decision that we all have to make. So nobody can tell you if something is worth it, if something is a great value. It's valuable to you if you love it, right? And I love it. So, nothing like some room ticket tenders and a porch shopping video. Who knew Blue Tanzanite was an investment opportunity? And Lorraine, I agree. Dart is the real deal. Dart is a real deal. He was a steal at 25. So is Scatterboo. Once we get Neighbors back and another wide receiver too, and some help in the secondary, hopefully the glory days are going to come back. Tina Cairo in Magic Kingdom. I hope you have it. You picked a beautiful, beautiful night to be out, by the way. It is absolutely gorgeous here in Disney Springs tonight. And you can't see that. The moon is spectacular. It almost looks like it's fake. So, what else? Has anybody seen Zootopia Better Together yet? I was able to go to a preview on Monday, really making sure that I didn't, and I have there's a few things all right, before my battery dies on my phone, there's a few things I want to make sure that I cover tonight. Now, one, I want to know if anybody's seen Zootopia. I didn't watch any videos. I really didn't even look at any concept art. I wanted to see it with my own eyes. I think what I'm going to do, and you guys tell me if you like this idea or not. I think as podcasters, and as podcast consumers, we are creatures of habit, right? The show comes out on Monday. It's part of our routine. And I'm like, sometimes there's something I want to talk about that maybe either doesn't warrant its own sort of full show. Maybe it's something that's more time sensitive. So I'm thinking about doing like sort of a mini bonus episode. I'm going to number it the same way, but like dropping a mini episode if I can get back from my appointment tomorrow in time. A mini episode tomorrow, maybe a little bit shorter, just about Zootopia. Like I want to do it before next week because I have a different show scheduled for next week that I want to drop because of its timeliness. Do you like that idea of, as it happens, maybe even on a random Thursday, maybe not a show from the archives, but maybe a show that is something timely that I want to cover that maybe I don't want to just do on social because algorithms, people don't see it, or on a live video or just in the clubhouse. So let me know what your thoughts are. Matt says, what are my thoughts on Morimoto in Springs? So I love Morimoto, and I walked by before, and the outside little like Morimoto Lounge has some interesting little treats that I might go and sample for research purposes when we are done here tonight. And Beatrice, first of all, it's nice to see you. And cute is the word that everybody said, and I think that's very much in it. I think there is messaging in there, and I think sometimes, especially for kids, it might get lost a little bit, which is not a bad thing, but I will save all of my comments for when I review it. I'm going to try and record something tomorrow if I can, but it is fun. I think kids are going to love Zootopia. I think my kids, who are in their early 20s, who grew up with that film, will still love to put it on when they're home sometimes. I think they are really, really going to dig it. So, Token Fanboy says more content is always good. My kids love... Amy, I love Luca. I think Luca is one of the more overrated, the more underappreciated films. I think it just doesn't get as much love. First of all, I think it's beautiful. But I also just love the story. I love the placemaking. So there's a lot that I love about Luca. And I love that Luca has a float in the parade in Disney California Adventure, for what it's worth. Speaking of really good food. Let me see. So it's one of my least favorites. Kenneth says, I got back from the preview, thought it was done really well. entertaining. Keep your mouth closed during the show. They very much have dialed up the 4D effects. And the other thing too, visually, like the screen is beautiful. Like they really, really, really did a nice job in enhancing the effects and enhancing the visuals in that theater. So, Drew is right over there. First of all, the Drury is a great hotel, great location. I love that they have like the free breakfast buffet and like the free like nighttime dinner snacky food too. I mean, I have my Momentum conference at the Hilton because it's an easy walk the clock. That's the only thing is it's a little bit of a longer walk from there to Springs, but otherwise the Drury is a great overlooked option, I think, here. Sean Taylor Robinson from But Mostly Disney says, I am all in for more episodes, even if they are shorter content. As if I needed to add something else to my plate, Sean, I am going to try and see if I can record something tomorrow. I'm going to be out most of the day, but hopefully I can get something done at night, and then I've got to do another recording tomorrow, so we'll see. We'll see. Let me see. I saw another podcaster trashing the new Zootopia show, made me quite angry. So, Thomas Swan, that's your first mistake, is listening to another podcast. I'm kidding. Look, man, different strokes for different folks. I am a choose the good guy. So I will only say this in sort of my mini review. As I was watching the show, and I was like trying to like figure out what the storyline was, I caught myself smiling, like genuinely smiling, and I'm like, you've been smiling this entire time. Like, you've just had this grin on it. Like, that's it. Like, that's the barometer for me. Like, does this show make me happy? Does it put a smile on my face? It doesn't have to be deep. It doesn't have to be meaningful. It doesn't have to be an e-ticket attraction. And I was like, man, if I'm digging this, like, kids are going to love this. Like, kids. And remember, folks, they are not, I'm assuming you're all, like, over the age of 20. They're not building this attraction for me and you. We, I don't mean you, we collectively, internet. Understand my meaning? Stop being selfish. Stop being selfish. Not every attraction is built for you. These attractions are being built for our kids. And these are the movies that they grew up on. They're being built for our kids, for them to enjoy. They're being built for our kids to 10, 15 years, 20 years later, be able to take their kids and go, this is what I grew up on. This is the film that my parents took me to see, that I, showed you since you were really young, right? Zootopia 2. I think sometimes we are, well, I don't like this thing, or this is more for kids, and people get mad about it. And I think that's patently unfair, and I'm sorry that the word that I use is selfish. I think you should enjoy it for what it is, and know that there's going to be generational, families that are going to love this show. Like, they are. Like, I wish my kids were young enough that I could, bring them over and have that moment with them. I mean, I still can, but they're 22 and 20, so the experience is going to be different for me. But, man, if my kids could, come out of the stroller and I could bring them in, they would love it. And whether it's you and your kids or your grandkids, or that's who it's being built for. And I think sometimes we have to we have to understand that. And if you don't agree with me, that's cool too. This is one dude's opinion who loves the sentimental, loves the nostalgic, loves the classic stuff. But I get it. I get it. And I understand it, and I appreciate it. And I'm happy for the people that get to have that experience with their kids, because I had it, right? You may have had it too. I know what it was like when I brought my kids to Finding Nemo the musical and wept because of the way it resonated with my son. What I was able to do with my daughter, with some of the relatively more recent princesses and some of those experiences that she was able to have and we were able to have together. Don't you want other people to feel that same way? Don't you want to be able to have that? Maybe this is not going to be your favorite attraction, and that's fine. There's Flight of Passage, there's Navi River Journey, there's Expedition Everest, there's all the other things. There's Indiana Jones that's coming there. like, I see somebody, wait, I saw somebody mention Country Bear Jamboree. Hold on, I'm scrolling through. I have Facebook and Instagram. Lisa said, we went to the new-ish Country Bear Jamboree the other night. The room was packed. Everyone was engaged and laughing. It's tough to deny. It was a great change, as much as I loved and grew up with the old one. Like, that's it. Like, that's another, like, appropriate example. We may miss the attraction we grew up on, but kids who cannot relate to any of those songs, maybe it didn't resonate with them at all. This is going to be the thing that they're going to have a memory that they're going to bring their kids to, and that's what it is all about. So, Lauren says, I wasn't brought up visiting Disney. Went for the first time when I was 20. I haven't stopped going back. My kids are now 31, 29, having grown up. Love going. We're all true Disney adults. Disney adults in the best possible way, not in the non-Disney fan places talking about Disney adults as being, a freak show. So, but, I mean, there are elements of it that are a freak show, but in the best, most beautiful kind of way. That's the thing about Disney, is that there is something for everyone. It is, I think, the most welcoming place, and whatever it is that is your interest and you love, like, you will find it here, and you will find other people that probably like it as well. So that's it. That's my soapbox. Although that brings me to another point. So wait, let me see if I can. Well, I don't know if I can find this. If I can find this, I'm gonna ask you for a very. I don't know if I can. Let's see. I have my laptop here as well, so give me a second. Token Fanboy says Disney World's for families and includes young kids who watch new. Without a doubt, man. So there's a few things that you probably know about me, because I say it all the time. One, I'm not a numbers guy. Like, I don't pay attention to my numbers. Like, I pay attention to the fact that at least one person listens. Like, that's the only number. The only number that matters is one. Like, the one person who's listening. So I don't look at that. I don't check my stats. I don't check my reviews. But this is me coming to you as a friend, and I'm asking for an honest answer. And if you want to share your answer with me privately, I absolutely welcome it. And I've struggled with this since I saw it a couple of days ago. But because we have this type of friendship, this type of relationship, and this type of trust, I need your honest opinion. I need to know if this person is just being mean, or you're like, no, Lou, this person is right, and you need a little bit of self-awareness to recognize this. Because I've been like, I'm an overthinker. Oh. So somebody left a review somewhere on the internet about the show, saying that the show used to be great, but I am demeaning and rude, and I've attached myself to the Disney teat, and I am arrogant and superficial. There are so many better shows out there. And that's fine. That different strokes for different folks. I am not everybody's cup of tea, but I just need to know, like, am I doing something? Am I acting or coming across in a way that looks or sounds like that? Because if so, I need to do some, like, very quick, very fast, like, self-reflection and fix that, because I don't think that I am a demeaning, rude, arrogant, and superficial person. But if that's what it's coming across, I want to sort of make sure I correct that immediately. So it's not. It's on one of the major. He says, "Was that person high?" I don't know. There wasn't a spot where you can indicate if you are high or not when you do it, but it's like usually. So I used to have a saying, and I still talk about this when I talk at conferences, like, ignore the idiots, right? If you have haters, you're doing something right. And I'm like, well, this isn't just like a hateful comment. Like, maybe this person is taking or wasting his time because he's trying to make sure I'm aware of this. And then I went back. So this comment was left a couple days ago. So I was going back to, like, recent episodes, I'm like, who was I talking to that I was like arrogant and rude to? Like, who was I demeaning to? Like, okay, Becky and I joke around, but it's like she's like my much, much, much older sister, so it's like it's all in fun. I'm like, was I mean to another guest? Was I being like arrogant or condescending? Like, it's been like troubling me. Like, insert meme of me laying in bed at night with my eyes wide open. Like, is this how I'm coming across to people? So I figured the only way I could find out is by, and this is a leap of faith here in you, because I don't want you to go, well, yeah, maybe that person is right. Lou is kind of a jerk, and I'm going to stop listening. So that's why I wanted to ask, in case there was something that I was doing that has changed, and if so, why? So, um, oh, you guys are making me cry. This person has nothing to do with the Lou I know. Lisa Nora Glasser says, why are you reading my comment on Apple Podcasts out loud? Oh, no, sorry. Whether listening to a different show. Kyle says they've never had a Lou on. And listen, if and I mean this sincerely, like, and I tell people, like, and those of you who have been with me in other, like, in-person, like, events, like when I speak, like, people say, well, how'd it go? And I'm like, I don't know. You need to ask them like somebody who was in the audience. And when I have friends in the audience, I want them, I'm like, don't tell me it was great. Like, tell me what I did wrong. Like, tell me the only way I can improve is not by you saying, it was great, it was wonderful, and then you go back to your room, you're like, man, that guy sucked. Like, tell me that I sucked. Tell me why I sucked is not a bad word. Tell me why I sucked. Tell me what I did wrong, because that's I learn by improving. I believe in this sort of this mantra of Inkora Imparo, which means I'm always learning and I'm always trying to improve. It's sort of the Japanese Kaizen, like getting a little bit better day after day. And the only way I can do that is by hearing about the things, not that I'm doing right, but about the things I'm doing wrong. And so I'm like, is this person trying to be a friend and tell me that I'm doing something wrong? Like, am I not nice on this show? Like, I'm like, who do I need to like go make amends with and apologize to? So think twice. Think twice if you know. And I wish, this is what I like about this, not a lot. One of the things I like about Facebook is it's your real name, right? But when here, and this is not the name, like your name could be Goofy Dude 77, and you have this, you're protected by that veil of anonymity. Like, I wish I could reach out to this person and be like, please explain why you feel this way. Like, let me know what I did so I can improve on it, so I can apologize to that person and apologize to listeners if that's how it's coming across. Because I don't want somebody to listen to me like, oh, I thought Lou was X and now he's doing this and he's not. So, and thank you. I won't read them out, but thank you all for the very kind and very supportive. Tim Moore says, the only thing arrogant rude are your comedians on Jackson Dart. I love Jackson Dart. Oh, thank you. Listen, and thank you for, and this was, to be very clear, and this is why, part of the reason why, this was not like a not so veiled attempt to get you to say like nice things about me. I just need like people to tell me if there's ways or things that I need to do to get better. Because the other thing too, and this is the thing that stinks, this is on Apple Podcasts, it's fine. The thing that's about Apple Podcasts is if somebody goes and finds the show now, like, that's the comment they're going to see, because it's going to show up first. And you're going to sort of forget about everything that comes after it, because if I go to look up something and the first thing I see is a 1-star, I'm like, well, the Chinese food here must be terrible. Like, it must be a bad podcast. So now that's the thing that sort of sticks out when somebody goes to find it, which is not helpful in growing the show, and more importantly, in growing the community. So, yeah, that's it. That's I need to get that off my chest. I feel better, or worse, I'm not sure. You made me feel better, but yeah, like, I don't understand. And it took, I'm sorry that I'm sorry that it took for me to realize this until after my mother died. Because she used to say all the time, she's like, if you can't say something nice, don't say it. And I was like, yeah, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm not expecting every review to be a 5-star review. I mean, it would be nice. I'm not expecting but why would somebody, take the time to make this, additional stuff? Like, I'm going to go to Apple Podcasts and find the show just so I can say something that's mean. How does that potentially help me? How does that help somebody else? I don't leave bad reviews. Maybe, if I go to a restaurant and I don't like the hamburger, I leave a bad, maybe it was an off day. Maybe there was something or maybe I just didn't like it. And if this person doesn't like it, that's cool. But how does what this person said benefit I don't know. Maybe it's my own way of thinking. But anyway, Mom, you're right. Again, I find myself recently being like, wow, my mom was right. My dad was right. Now I understand what they were saying, when they used to say this to me over and over and over again, because now I'm saying it. So it, yeah, whatever. So, but thank you for that, and thank you for helping sort of balance my concern. And I was sad. Look, I say ignore the idiots, but sometimes it's hurtful. You can't help but sort of take things personally. And I'm like, I keep these words just keep they're like darts, demeaning and rude and arrogant, superficial. I'm like, does somebody think that way about me? Or am I like that? What do I need to? Yeah. So anyway, so that's it. That's the. I didn't mean to sort of dump that on you, and but you're my friend, so the only person I could ask or talk to it about was you. So anyway, there was something else I wanted to talk about, and now I got myself all kinds of distracted. It's probably food related. So Williams Crepton says, you're human, words hurt. It's true. My mother also used to say, when I was a kid, I used to get take a lot of things very personally. And my mom and dad would be like, you got you're too thin-skinned. You got to get thicker skin. You can't let everything that somebody says bother you. And they're right. I do, and I have. I mean, now I have this, giant stone fortress around my heart. But, sometimes you can't help it. You see things and they're hurtful because it makes you sort of wonder, is that person right? Is it right? Did I eat their chicken tenders? I'm a very good sharer, just so you know. And I think it is the Italian in me. If I'm with people and I'm going to order chicken tenders, I'm going to order way more than enough for everybody. Nobody goes hungry when you are with me. And if you've ever been either to my house or out with me, you know that is very much the case. Nobody ever leaves hungry when it comes time for food. So Elaine says, get some Gideon's cookies and make things. The line for Gideon's today was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But what I might do, maybe I'll treat myself. Maybe I'll go to Morimoto Street Food and get myself some ribs and I think they've got a special drunken noodle. So is Future Lou going to purchase property at Catino? Mark, Future Lou is probably still going to be a podcaster, meaning he's probably not going to purchase property. Now, if a bunch of us want to get on it together and form this conglomerate and then buy a house there, that is something I would entertain. It's beautiful. Catino is absolutely stunning. The houses there are gorgeous, not in an overtly, not in a bad way, Disney, overly Disney, but just, again, it's that level of service and environment and storytelling and placemaking. It's really, 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 it's beautiful. It is beautiful. So, but no, I have no intentions. I would like to go back to Catino and see it as it continues to evolve. I want to see it when more homes are built. I want to see it when the town center and the retail and dining is brought in and they let non-residents start to experience and enjoy some of what Cucina has to offer. Maybe when they do that, I'll plan. Maybe I'll do that. I'll plan like a research trip out there when I know that I can stay, like not stay in one of the homes, but stay nearby, and then we can all go and see what that retail and dining and recreation opportunities look like for those people who are not residents there. So I went to Boathouse earlier today. I had a meeting with someone. This person wanted to go to Boathouse, but I didn't do it right. And I love the wedge salad. I walked by the mirror this morning and I felt really bad about myself. So I was like, you fat insert non-Disney word here, you are not getting the filet sliders with caramelized onions and there's incredible French fries next to it. You're going to get a salad. So I got the wedge salad with some grilled shrimp next to it. I didn't have any of the bread. I didn't even get like the tuna appetizer. So I deprived myself of the true Boathouse experience. But of course now I'm starving. So I might treat myself to a little Morimoto tonight. So, Sarah said, I love the idea of, yeah, I'll see. I think it's not going to be till, I don't know if they said exactly when in 26. That I know they just announced some of the partner retail and dining that's going to be in there. But yeah, we can definitely go and see that once it opens, and I would love to take you with it. Deborah, I had no bread or sliders. Like, I did it so wrong. I mean, I'm right for my calorie count and for my carb intake, but wrong for the overall enjoyment of both. If only there was anybody that would go back. Maybe I'll do, oh God. Do I go to Morimoto Street Food or do I go back to Boathouse by myself and sit outside on this glorious, glorious evening and treat myself to a slider? Like, there's no wrong answer. There's no bad answer because they're both wonderful in their own special way. Like you. You're all wonderful in your own special way. You're all Boathouses and Morimoto-ages to me. But now I have to decide, like, I don't know, that Morimoto, some of those special things at Morimoto look really good. And I haven't been to Morimoto Street Food in a long, long time. So, Tim says it's going to be rude and arrogant not to get some ribs and street food. It might be. And then I'll come back. I'll come back to Boathouse again and do it the way, I would say do it the way God intended, but do it the way Steve Schussler intended, and get those sliders. I'll get the sliders when I come back one day for lunch so that I can walk off my carbs, because I obviously have to get the sliders with the caramelized onions and the French fries, and maybe get, oh God, those rolls are so good with the butter. Oy. If anybody would like to book like a one-on-one coaching, so I do them as calls, but if somebody's like, hey, you want to do this as a meeting in person? Most of my in-person meetings, by choice, people are like, can we go to Boathouse? I'm like, yes, we can. But tonight I will go to Morimoto. So, what time is it? It's 8:30. Man, time flies when you come before the sliders. Eat the sliders without the rolls. Doreen, listen. That is a crime against nature. Like, if you're gonna do it right. Like, you can't. It's like getting a quarter pounder without cheese. You just should not do it. So, I think. Plus, it's like almost sort of on the way. Yeah, it might be a Morimoto kind of night tonight. So, sunny days. First of all, I love that name. Sunny days. Now you have me hungry. Rain says, the way you discuss food, it makes me want to try everything. I was telling the person I was meeting today, like, when I was a kid, I was a string bean. Like, I was, like, almost unhealthily thin. Like, my parents used to bribe me, like, to, like, buy me stuff if I would eat more. Again, Mom and Dad, I waited until you were gone before it, like, kicked in. It wasn't until I was in law school, and I was very sedentary. I was, like, all I did was study. Like, I went to school and I studied, went to school and I studied, and that was it. And then, like, even more so when I was studying for the bar exam, I'm like, I am only doing this thing once. I, like, moved myself up to, like, the third floor of my parents' house. There was, like, It was like an old Victorian house, and it had like a guest room or whatever up there. And when it was time for the bar exam, not that you care about the story, I'm going to tell you anyway. When it was time for the bar exam, I took out my TV, I took out my computer, I took out my phone, which still used to be plugged into the wall, because all I wanted to do was just lock in and study. But I would get up there and be like, I would nosh, and I would nosh, and I think that's where sort of I was always a Dorito fan, but I would like bring up a bag of Doritos just to like snack on, and somehow there must have been a gremlin in my room because the family size bag of Doritos would be gone by the end of the night. And then one day it was like, oh God, what was, like, what's the name of the movie with Eddie Murphy and, um, not Dr. Doolittle. Oh my God, why am I, um, when he's Professor Clump and he gets super fat. I was like, whoop, that was me. And it just happened one day, and I've got to get better. The Nutty Professor, my God. You can tell all I ate today was a salad for lunch. My brain is not working properly. So, um, all right. Well, with that, that is clearly the indicator that I can't remember the name of the Nutty Professor movie. It means it's time to go, to let you go and get on with your night. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the gift of, and I mean this, like, and I know I repeat myself, but I could drop dead tomorrow. And I know that sounds morbid, but I had a friend who just last week just dropped dead, and I don't ever want to like I don't ever want you to think I forget like what a gift it is that you give me by allowing me to be here, to be here, to be here when I'm in your ears, and everything that I get to do is a result of you, and it's a gift from you, and it does not get lost on me ever. And if there's ever anything I can do to help you or for you to repay you for that gift, for the life that you've gifted me, I mean it. Like, reach out and let me know. Don't post me comment on Apple Podcasts. Know that I love and appreciate you. Stay tuned. Starting Monday, I will be on the Destiny. I'll be posting primarily on Instagram stories and reels and posts there. They'll go to the WDW Radio page, but sometimes they just don't have the bandwidth to also share it to the clubhouse. So follow me there. I'm at Lou Mangello. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. And I know there's something else, but I don't know what it is. But I love and appreciate you. Wait, let me do this. It's not working. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I hope you have an amazing night, and thank you again. See ya.